Welcome back. This is M Hood Fishing, and I'm torn. Intro or milk? Obviously, the intro is first. That must mean the milk is second. The milk went in here with the tea. Does this look much better? I felt that the light on behind me was just too much backlit. Yeah, you're right. So I slept all day because I fished late till 3 in the morning, and then I came back, edited the video, published the video, did a little bit of unwinding, fell asleep, slept hard, and then I woke up after sunset. Kind of wanted to wake up before sunset, but I decided no alarm. We will just sleep, and it will be what it will be. However, got up, dressed, primed with tea, dogs got their harnesses on, opened the door, and there was the alarm that I didn't want to set, but in fact, maybe I did, but it was not my alarm, not my phone, nothing in my house, and I wasn't quite sure where this alarm was coming from. However, I was wondering, maybe I should run inside and start live streaming on the boom, because that alarm is loud and might sound cool. I knew what it was, or I should say I knew what type of alarm it was. I recognized it to be a house alarm, not a car alarm. And I wasn't sure where or why this alarm came into being, like what caused it. So I just went out along my way with the dogs because they had things to do. When we get out, and before we could get off our property, there's a gentleman walking down right along my property, right? Not on it, but walking right along it, where you wouldn't normally see someone you don't know walking along there. Had a beard like me, but it was not, in fact, me. I was not looking into a mirror because he was much younger than me. But very friendly, very nice. It was actually someone that I recognized from the community, someone I've seen around. So I was like, oh, well, maybe he's coming from one of the neighbors or something, huh? But again, the alarm is woo, 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 woo. And it sounds like it's far away, like across the other side of a road, a busy highway, right? And across the other side of a field in a distant neighborhood. It sounds like it's over there. So we say hi. He talks a little bit because he thinks I'm walking towards him, so he talks to us. He pets the dogs. Tulsa is like, I want to hug you. I like you. So, all that occurs. It's very split second, not long at all, not much time. And I'll go on my way. Got things on my mind. These dogs, they need to walk, they need to poop, they need to pee, and then I need to stand here and get things ready, because what's on its way? A hard freeze is on its way in a few hours. The wind is up, but it's not super cold outside. It is around 40 something degrees, which is not that bad, but when the wind speed gets up high and high and higher, that starts to feel more like 30s than it does 40s. So we get on our way. We get not far. Dogs start spinning out. Looks like we're gonna get a two for one. But in the end, it was not a twofer. It was not a 2-for-1, because both dogs dropped big loads. So we had to do 2 bags. Too much information? Well, that's the life of a man with 2 dogs. Sometimes they're little, sometimes they're big. Sometimes you can get it all in one, sometimes you need 2. But you should carry at least 4, because you never know when they're gonna just keep dropping. Yeah, you're right. So we get it all bagged up. I'm standing there with 2 dogs, 2 bags of poop, and all of a sudden here comes Plaquemines' finest. 1 and then 2. Now I got 2 squad cars coming in where we're at. One hits the grass and the other one kind of floats right in behind him. And I'm thinking, what is going on? And again, that alarm is still woo, 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 but sounds far away. Nobody puts a spotlight on me, and they're not being aggressive. They're not jumping out because why? They know who I am. They recognize me, the big beard with the gray, especially the two dogs, the little and the big. Look like, you know, Aristocat dogs. They look like the dogs from that cartoon Aristocats. So one of them gets out, and I'm like, what's going on? Is there a problem? I'm like, and I said, hold on, let me go over here to the trash can, because I don't want to stand here talking to you holding 2 bags of dog poop. Yeah, you're right. Even though it looks like I'm holding 2 blue bags of something, it's in fact 2 bags of dog poop, and I don't like standing around talking to people holding dogs poop, right? This is just not right. Especially when people wave at me and I got one hand with leashes and one hand with dog poops. I don't really like waving a dog poop bag at you. So I got to go over here to the trash can. But before I could get 2 feet to the trash can, what happens? Boom, 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 boom. And I yelled over to the officer, oh, gunshots mean this red bone's about to go off. So next thing you know, we are running from Plaquemines' Finest because that dog is panicking. She's like, what the hell? She's like, I need to get into the bunker. So she's running back towards the house, and I'm right there with her. The other dog is pissed. She's like, what? I don't want to run back to the house. Hey, stop. You know, and he's trying to be a dick, you know, trying to like get her to stop, but it's not working because it just doesn't work. So we get towards the house, and she's all of a sudden confused. Like, she's thinking, I want to go to the left, but we need to go to the right. So she's stuck in a position. She can't go any further. She's panicked. I just have to, like, get Yaz to chill. And I get down, and I hug my dog because we can't go any further. We can't get in the house because she's basically ran into a corner and wants to keep going into it. So we're stuck outside. It's boom, boom, boom. And all I can do is like, this is like a tactic to calm a dog. They make a vest called a thunder vest. So what I do is I come down and I just engulf her into my arms and hold her tight and say soft things to her. And she calms down enough to where I can get her to not want to go into that corner, go to the right and around, and boom, we're inside. Harnesses are off, and I'm back out. And apparently that alarm was not as far away as I thought. It was right there at that property that I was, you know, my dogs were pooping around. It was inside it, but it sounded far away, and no one knows what caused it. And after some investigation, it wasn't caused by the gentleman, or we don't know, but he was just happened to be walking through there as I walked through there with my dogs. It's an open area, you know, shortcut. So he was coming through, obviously taking the shortcut that I take with the dogs, and everything was good. But is it? There's a hard freeze on the way. People are like in crisis mode a little bit. Some people, not everybody, because it's not the first hard freeze, not the first rodeo, right? I am not in crisis mode. I mean, I'm all good. I know what to do. But what are those fish in? Are they in crisis mode? Are they freaked out? Do they know there's a hard freeze coming? Do they watch the news? What do they do, right? So, I've got to get ready, and we've got to go. Story over. Welcome to my mama's. Yeah, could I get an order of sacale? Leave out the rain. Thank you very much. Yeah, you're right, because it's not just wind and freezing temperatures. There's rain associated with what is coming my way. It's not too cold yet, but that wind has a bite to it, a bit of an edge. Maybe those fish are still pretty active. It is a little late. This has got to be the worst part of it. Heading to the spot. Got a north wind blowing right into my face. Unfortunately, I think we're going to end up fishing with the wind in my face because this spot is a little exposed to that wind, but it's not horrible, right? We're coming over here where the light is to do stuff real quick. A lot of times when we're in this part of crappie season, sac-a-lait season, you stick with what is tried and true, you know, what is working. Don't try to fix it if it's not broke. So we know that I can get them here. We know that I have got them here, really, right? But do we know? That's what we want to know. The question is, will I get them here right now? That's what we want to know. So we got some crappie nibbles right there. And last night I lost the first of these, and here's the second one I've tied on. This is a tried and true hand-tied jig by Kai's Custom Jigs. A good friend of mine is doing this now. These are good hair jigs. The hackle is pretty stiff even when it gets wet. Link is down in the description if you want to check them out. They make different colors, different sizes. Fireworks have been going off tonight. That's what spooked my red bone. At first I thought it was random, but it turns out that the first set that spooked the red bone, that was a professional display. So I would say that the fireworks are associated with Carnival, because Carnival is kicked off down here. Mardi Gras is what I'm talking about. This is a weird place to be sometimes, because you go through the holidays and right after that you're in the holidays. So very festive season. So some people tonight are probably getting a little lit because of the Carnival associated gigs and whatnots, get-togethers. Hopefully these sac-a-lait are lit as well and ready to play, ready to dance. And some people are in crisis mode because the infrastructure down here, that which the government, you know, the municipalities provide, and that infrastructure that is private, is not necessarily built for a hard freeze. A lot of it is now, but a lot of it still isn't. So people are concerned about their pipes freezing and other things. Somebody said, why fish the garbage pit? Well, it's out of the wind. I don't expect to get sac-a-lait out of here. It is connected to the bayou. It is connected to the same water where I was catching crappie in the last two videos. They can swim in and out of here freely. But when you just want to get the skunk off a session, because let me tell you, where the bayou is right there, that is rippled by the wind. Okay, we're getting a bite already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can catch a crappie. I'm probably going to go from standing in the wind until I cannot bear it, come over here and warm up in a way because I'm out of the wind. So we will fish the garbage pit. This is just stuff floating. This is like one of those silent crises that is a crisis that people don't think about. All this floating plastic and stuff, this is from people being litter bugs, and gets washed down into the drain and ends up here and eventually into the bayou. I'm thinking about getting proper gear. Come on over here. I was thinking about this today, earlier when I got up, and yesterday actually, before I went to sleep. Thinking about coming over here and scooping this out. I just need proper net. I can get it together though, but you know, it's just gonna keep coming back, because where does this crisis start to brew from? Where is it coming from? Where is its origin? It's people do this. In some parts of the world, it's so bad that you can't see the water because it's 2 feet of floating bottles going down the river. People. I would say that the people that complain about me fishing here in these videos, maybe you just don't like seeing how bad things really are. Whoa, there was a bite right there. You'd rather not see the bad parts. Just want to see the good parts. It's just a bunch of little goggle eye in there. That's what I've been getting out of there mostly lately. When you ignore the bad parts, you know, to the point where you're not doing anything about them, and you only focus on the good stuff, whatever makes you feel good or looks good, them bad parts, they will fester and they will snowball until you just, it's all it is. An analogy that a friend said to me pertaining to what I'm talking about here is when people get used to having a window open and they forget to shut it and it starts raining. They come home and they decide to, oh well. And this happens over and over again. And then the window's open, they're at home, it starts raining, and they don't shut it. And all that rain coming in through the window eventually rots out the floor. But it starts with the window frame first. I've seen this scenario play itself out. People just did this over and over, this bad habit. The window falls off the building and you can't stand right there because the floor is so rotted you'll go right through it. And how to prevent that? Shut the window when it's raining. So a little thing, a little bit of irresponsibility can roll down the hill and turn into a giant avalanche with time. And time is something I feel I don't have a lot of, but maybe I do. Maybe I do. The wind just got really strong, so we're going to back off for a second. Maybe time will come back. It always does. So back to the idea, or you know, the thinking that Sakale can get in here. Well, maybe they do. One thing to consider right now is that the wind is blowing the water into here. So it could blow bait up in here. The bait could come in here because they feel safe. It's calm. This water is much more calm, even though it don't look nice. It's much more calm than out there where I just was in the wind. And it might be warm because this concrete is holding a lot of heat from the day. So the Sakale could come in here, and this is not shallow. It's about 8 feet deep or so. And that is a good depth for this bayou. However, there are parts of this bayou right now that are around 10 to 13 feet deep. And if the water temperature is shifting down right now already because of this front coming through, and it's supposed to get down around 27 in a few hours, the Sakale could already have run deep to that warmer water because that deeper water is holding a better temperature, and that's where they're at right now. But we're hoping that that's not quite the case just yet. We're hoping that we can bang into one. We might not. But as I take a heater up break here, just, you know, getting out of the wind for a sec, I think I am going to bang into something because I'm getting bites repeatedly on the jig. I do have worms, so if I wanted to get serious about knocking the skunk off the session, could dip a worm in. But there is something about just catching them with just the jig. Something special about it. Really addictive, you know. It's a part of my obsession, working this jig. This is pretty cool. Look at how pretty that fish is. It's not even a goggle eye. That is really pretty for a cold night. One thing I did not mention that I should is the fact that this hard freeze is early. It was supposed to happen tomorrow night, not tonight. So it's happening tomorrow night too. We got 2 nights of hard freeze weather. It's not the worst thing, in my opinion. It's kind of a good thing, but it creates its own problems, its own set of problems. It doesn't have to. If you're ready, and you're not going to have problems. But there are already problems occurring, like especially with traffic and accidents in northern Louisiana, where the roads are reportedly already icy, and there are some accidents. I hope everybody's okay. I haven't heard of any fatalities, but it's early days still. So that's the first bit of the state that has been affected the worst so far, is the northern part of the state. The good things about a hard freeze, it comes to, like, you know, it kills mosquitoes, it kills diseases that are in the soil, and, you know, fleas and stuff like that. Makes for a good spring if you have some good hard freezes. I don't know if we're going to see ice on the water. We will check that out tomorrow. Well, I've been on the bayou several times, and I keep coming back because it's just getting way too rough on the bayou, but not so rough right here, and I'm getting hits. I might just stay in this garbage pit here. I'm fishing right where the culvert is that comes from the bayou. So if there's fish coming out of the bayou, they're coming through this culvert. Might not seem so, but I've been standing here at this culvert, working this jig back and forth, reloading it with nibbles for maybe an hour now. The wind is howling, the chimes are singing. This is the lingering of an obsession. Obsessions don't go away overnight. We're in the thick of the season, and it's just a blip on the radar, a blip, I believe is what I meant to say. I'm starting to feel like Tom Bodette, but a little more illicit. So, am I looking at a one fish video? Am I looking at just a story that I told, a story that unfolded as I told it? Because my life is just one big story. I'm living inside my own story, but other people are involved because it's real. But is the bite real? I'm getting a little hit here and there, and once in a while I will see a dark image swim by, moving very slow. These fish are. So I would say that this temperature of the water has shifted down already, and fish are moving through molasses. Not that I have any molasses at the house, but I do have hot chocolate that could be made, and that sounds good. Well, I hope you were entertained. Yep. And the wind is spitting rain now, so remember, keep that window shut when it's raining, and get that kettle on when I'm coming home, because I want hot chocolate. Yeah, you're right. Thanks for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, being a member of the channel, and I will see you next time.